Hi, I'm Julie Kinscheck, and I'm going to talk about After You've Been Gone. The song was actually written called After You've Been Gone in 1918 by the African-American songwriting team Henry Creamer and Turner Layton. Later on, the song's name was changed to After You've Gone. They got rid of the bin, and it was a little negligible what kind of a song it was. Some people called it a blues. It definitely became a jazz standard, and Alec Wilder said that one of the reasons that's true is because it was so American sounding. Some of the things about it that made it so American sounding, one was it was an A-B-A-C form, which was very typical of the Tin Pan Alley era. It was codified during that time. It was also, it had chords that changed every measure, which was lent itself very good to improvisation in jazz. The lyrics were very native sounding, and they had a casual dialect that was often used by the African American artists of the day. It was from the heart. It bent notes like the blues, and like I said, it left room for improvisation, as you would hear if you listen to some of the different recordings of the song over the decades. Lots of different interpretations. There was also the influence of ragtime in the song. You can hear that in the dotted notes of the second phrase of the song. You won't regret it. It's got this little hoppy little feel. There's even a stride piano in the break, at least in the original recording, which I heard by Marion Harris, that was done in 1918. But later it's been recorded by lots and lots of jazz artists, even pop artists. The song was, the version that I'm going to sing is influenced by Ruth Etting, recorded in 1927. However, the karaoke version that I found is a lot more jazz, so it's going to be a little bit of a crossover. But I did find 68 different artists who recorded this song over time, all the way up to 2020. All kinds of amazing artists, from Judy Garland to Louis Armstrong, and people from early jazz and early pop and early theater, all the way up to current artists. There was even a live recording by Fiona Apple, recorded in 2016, which surprised me because I don't think of her as singing that kind of music. But anyway, moving right along, another thing that made this very applicable to jazz was all of the blue notes and the bent notes, also blues as well. There's a lot of bending of notes that happen. There's a lot of syncopations. After you've gone, a little syncopation there, and gone. Those things were very typical of blues and jazz, and came out of the Negro spirituals and work songs and minstrel shows, etc. Moving forward in time, the song also was recorded by Ella Fitzgerald. By that time, in 1962, later in her career, it was very much jazz. She had played with the melody in marvelous ways that only Ella can do, and just the song lends itself to so much great interpretation. Even though it has a lot of bluesy elements, like I talked about, the bent form, the bent notes, etc., and the sort of moaning quality of it, it was definitely not a 12-bar blues form. It was 20 bars actually, which was pretty short for songs of that time. But it was very singable. The range of it was not very large, and in a comfortable spot, so that singers and regular Joes could sing it. And that was one reason I think the song got so very popular, because it was so singable and catchy. And it didn't hurt that they stole a little bit of another popular song to get people of that time interested in it. But you can hear the influence of all these different styles, of ragtime, of blues, of jazz. It definitely, typical of Tin Pan Alley, was veering away from the classical articulation or overbearing vibrato. It was definitely, as once again Alec Wilder would say, had that native quality of singing from the heart, which became a hallmark of popular music. If I was teaching this to a student, we might first talk about the mood of the song in the lyrics, how it was melancholy, that after you've gone, but then also a bit sassy. That moaning repetition and that bluesy feel, followed by that salty, you'll regret it kind of attitude, made it fun and made it emotional. And that's something that the student would need to catch and understand. And the way that would be expressed, of course, is in those bent notes, in that laid-back singing style without pushing the breath, in that, in the way they articulated the words, of course, in the dialect, and finally in the smooth phrasing. A little bit of playfulness in the melody, it would be encouraged. But if doing it in the Tin Pan Alley era style, might not want to bend the melody too much, because that happened later when it became a jazz standard. One other thing of note that I would, both say as a descriptor of the song as well as something I would want to talk to the student about, is the registration of the song, which is definitely TA dominant, and also using some mixed registration as it goes up a little bit. But very smooth, very smooth. That said, I'm going to sing a little bit of this song with a karaoke. I'm going to sing After You've Gone, and this version is imitating the style, I'm singing imitating the style of the 1927 recording by Ruth Etting. However, the background karaoke is much more current jazz sounding and actually has some different words in the second repeat of the chorus. After you've gone and left me crying, after you've gone, there's no denying you'll feel blue, you'll feel sad, you'll miss the dearest pal you ever had. There'll come a time, now don't forget it, there'll come a time when you'll regret it. Someday, when you grow lonely, your heart will break like mine and you want me only. After you've gone, after you've gone away. After I'm gone, after we break up, after I'm gone, you're gonna wake up. You will find you are blind to let somebody come and change your mind. After the years I've been together, their joy and tears, all kinds of weather. Someday, blue and downhearted, you'll long to be with me right back where we started. After I'm gone, after I'm gone.